Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Robert Rutledge. I'm an aspiring video game music composer, and today I am going to be talking about running. I know it has nothing to do with video games or music, but I thought I'd share anyways. This video is going to be broken up into 4 parts: my running journey, my running routine, my running philosophy, and then as an added bonus, my experience running as a father. So let's jump right in. I would definitely consider myself somewhat of a late bloomer. I didn't start until I was 29. I was never really interested in running as a kid or as a teenager. I preferred basketball or football. How I started running, I was 29. I wanted to get in shape for my wedding, so I started running. There's a park across the street from us. I just kind of started running a few laps at a time, nothing serious. And once the wedding had come and gone, I decided to stick with it because I was really enjoying it. Last year in 2024, I started running competitively, so I ran a handful of 10Ks, 15K, and then earlier this year, I actually ran a mile race just kind of for fun to see how it went. It went okay. I'm currently training for a 15K. At this point, I run 3 times a week. I run in the park across the street. Basically, I wake up, meditate, and then I take my dog for a walk. And then while I'm taking my dog for a walk, I'm kind of sipping on coffee. You gotta be careful with the coffee though, let me tell you. I'd recommend about half a cup. Otherwise, I take the dog back and then I go back out to the park. I stretch for 5 minutes. I always stretch. I'm religious about stretching. In my 2.5 years running, I have not had any injuries at all. After that, I run. And after I'm done running, I stretch again, and then I come back home and I eat my overnight oats. So one thing I'd really recommend to you guys, anyone who's a new runner. So this is a notebook for those of you who are Gen Z. I keep track of all my times in here, distances. You can take a look here. And then actually, just this year, I started doing it a little differently. I have date, location, what is that, laps, goal time, and then actual time. This is a run log, but it's also a run journal. I pretty much write not only my metrics, I also get to kind of reflect on, today running went really well, today not so well. Observations, not every run's the same. I know it's not as sexy as an app such as Strava or Strata or whatever the hell it's called, but I think this is more reliable and more predictable. You're not gonna open up your notebook and say, oh, the user interface changed. I don't think it's very good for beginner runners to be looking at like more pro runners' running routines because you'll just get depressed and want to quit. I know in my specific instance, there's a guy in my high school graduating class who's like really good at running and really serious about running, and he like wins races and stuff. You know who you are. Yeah, I don't want to know his running routine because that would just depress me and I'd get discouraged and probably even quit. So that's me. I'm focused on my running journey. I know there are much better runners out there, but I'm fine with that. Which brings me to my next point. Speaking of technology, this guy. So this is a Samsung Galaxy Fit watch. I'm going to show you something here that has kind of been really annoying for me. I don't know why it's like this, but if you look, it doesn't, so this is the run feature. It's not telling me my time. That is why I bought the thing in the first place. So I'm going to do a review on this watch later, but I'm pretty annoyed at it right now. I run for fun, but I also run for recreational purposes, for health benefits, if you will. I think the runner's high that everyone talks about is definitely a real thing. You definitely get an adrenaline rush. When I stopped drumming, there was like a void in my brain chemicals of adrenaline, and running has really filled that void. The most important thing I learned about my drumming journey that I've applied to my running journey is not over pushing it. I'm in this for longevity. I'd like to still be running like when I'm my dad's age. Unless you're like a professional runner, I think you should only be competing against yourself unless you're actually running a race. But as far as your actual running journey goes, I wouldn't compare your running journey to someone else's. Consistency pays off. Don't miss runs unless you really think you're sick or you haven't gotten enough sleep. And I guess that brings me to my next point, speaking of sleep, which is running as a father. My wife and I just had a baby boy earlier this year. He's great. We love him very much, but it's my running journey has suffered because of this. Sleep deprived. I want to run X distance in X amount of time. I don't really get anywhere near that, and then I kind of beat myself up over it, but I know this is only a short-term thing. Hopefully on the other side, I'll come out stronger. Of course, being a parent is more important than being an athlete. I think that's about all I have for today. Thank you for being here. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing. Let me know about your running journey. I'd love to know. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.